9 o'clock on the dot.
Let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this?
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Time Live with Blind United. Of course, I am Ed, and I am joined in the studio today with Brittany. We're kind of flying solo here today. So, how you doing this morning, Britt?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Ed. Good morning, Blind United family. All the people who have been supporting us. All our new people on YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
So, as usual, we're going to go over the little interest group we have today. We only have one interest group today, and we actually call it a Tuesday talk time. And we'll probably, it says live, so we may go live on that through our Zoom, and we'll go live into our Facebook group for that. So it's basically just a social hour kind of thing where we get together and hang out and talk and, different stuff like that. So that will be this evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So, and again, that is
6 p.m. PlayStation time.
As it's affectionately known by the younger generation.
Yep. You never know what we're going to talk about with Talk Time with Ed. We've had some pretty wild conversations, so come and hang out with us on Zoom. You never know what you're going to
Well, I mean, we got to give folks an opportunity, to socialize. I mean, in the 2 years we've been doing our interest groups, I've found that, a lot of times that when the group is over, folks want to hang out, they want to talk, and sometimes they even want to talk while we're trying to do an interest group, but it could be distracting, So we just basically kind of created that just so we have a designated time for that. So again, if you're not busy at 6 p.m. Pacific time this evening, join us on Zoom, and we'll make that happen. So right now, I'm going to start off by playing our little clip that gives you information about where you can reach us at. So let me get there.
If you have any questions, concerns, or whatever, info@blindunited.org.
You can visit our website, blindunited.org. That website again is blindunited.org. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or would like to be added to our email list, you can email us at info@blindunited.org. That email address again is info@blindunited.org. If you would like to reach us by phone, you can call us at 909-846-8825. That number again is 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Blind United 22. You can follow us on our Facebook group, which is Blind United Interest Groups, and you can also join our Facebook page, Blind United. Blind United. Blind United.
All right. So again, me and Brittany are kind of flying solo today. So being we're new here on YouTube, I felt it might be a great opportunity for us to kind of tell a story about Blind United and why it was created and how it came about and all that kind of stuff. Again, me and Brittany flying solo. I don't have my production team with me today that puts all the clips and stuff together. So I'm just going to make sure I can give you guys some content I hope you find interesting. So
before you start your contents, Ed, before you start what you have to say, Paul in the comments, he said, good morning. I believe Paul. He's watching on Twitter. So good morning over there.
Good morning over there to Twitter. Good morning over there to our Facebook group. And good morning and welcome to everybody that may catch us over here on YouTube. So the story of Blind United goes back, what I would say maybe 13 years now. I mean, that's not the beginning of my story. I mean, I officially became legally blind in 85. So, I mean, I can't really tell the Blind United story without telling my story as well. So in 84, I dealt with an accident and I became legally blind. I won't get into all the details about the accident and all that other kind of stuff. So, but anyway, I went through several, surgeries and stuff like that. And I was able to regain some vision thanks to the doctors that were working on me and stuff. I was able to regain some vision. I was still legally blind, so as most of us will do in that situation, I clung to the vision I had and try to, maximize, my efforts with using the vision I had and trying to live my life and raise my family and all that good stuff and, readjust my life now that I could no longer, my career was I was a truck driver. I couldn't drive a truck anymore and all that kind of stuff. So I had to readjust all that kind of stuff. So time goes on. I mean, I had my vision back. I mean, I'm doing pretty good. I got where I could drive a car again and, and all this other good stuff. So, I move on and fast forward to, it was 2003, and my vision was fading rather rapidly at that point. Probably should have quit driving my car a few years earlier, but being hard-headed, as I said, trying to hold on to what vision I did have. And, I know now I didn't have as much vision as I thought I had, usable vision anyway. So anyway, 2003, again, it was a point where I said, you know what, I got to quit driving. It's just starting to get too dangerous. I don't want to hurt anyone, tear up anybody's property. And most importantly, I didn't want to kill myself or anybody else. So I basically quit driving at that point. And I said, okay, well, I need to start trying to look into services, so that I can try to, my wife is working two jobs, actually, trying to take care of the family. So I got into California Department of Rehabilitations. And I mean, it was a trip at first because they send me a booklet. It was this Ticket to Work program. I think the Ticket to Work program is still around now. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. But
it is.
Okay. So anyway, I get this Ticket to Work, and then they send me this great big printout, booklet kind of thing. And it had all these various vocational schools and different stuff that, would accept my Ticket to Work as payment, for training. So I started calling up a few things and, that I thought I might want to do or might be interested in trying to do, stuff like that. And I don't know, these people just seemed like they were just extremely hungry to get their hands on my ticket. I mean, I had one guy want to meet me at Starbucks for coffee and wanted me to bring my ticket with me, you know. No, I ain't doing all that. You know, I had another guy because of my history and my background in trucks. He wanted me to take a job selling trucks. I mean, I'm not a salesman, you know, so I scratched my head. I tried to figure out what to do. So finally, I ended up going with California Department of Rehabilitations. I figured they had the best resources, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I got involved with them, and you know, I got with a counselor, and I'm going to see him, and I'm trying to explain to him as you know, we're going through the process. You know, what are my goals? And we try to put this plan together, as he called it, a roadmap to my independence, so on and so forth. And I'm telling him what I want to do, but it appears, and it came out to be that he was more important in rather than it was more important for him rather to than give me training to do something that would sustain me for a while, you know, over the long term. He literally tried to get me to take a job. I mean, I'm telling him, you know, I can't see at night. He says, okay, well, walk around with a flashlight. Okay. He literally wanted me to take a job cleaning buses at night, you know. I mean, the way my vision was, I couldn't see anything at night. Seriously. I mean, maybe a flashlight would help, but I don't know. I just didn't feel, you know, that ain't what I want to do, you know. So we went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I finally got him to let me go get evaluated, you know, to determine, you know, the best direction for me to go. I understand now that that's kind of part of the process where they do that right off the top, where I literally had to, you know, kind of force him to get me to do that back then. But anyway, I go through this evaluation. It turns out, you know, same thing what I thought. I literally did want to work in computers. I wanted to find me some sort of a job that I could, you know, while I still had vision, I could make it to, you know, the workplace and then at some point as my vision faded away, hopefully be able to transition that into a work from home position, you know. So anyway, the school he sent me to be evaluated. So after I do the evaluation, the folks at the school there, they told me, it's okay, well, you know, it says you want to do this. It shows that's where your interest is. And we literally have a beginning, you know, computer class starting tonight. You know, I work with your counselor on a regular basis. I don't see where it'll be a big issue. Let me go ahead and get you signed up for that class. If you can hang out and start that class tonight, we'll get you in there. And then we'll work out the details with your counselor, you know, come Monday morning or whatever it was. I said, okay, cool. She signed me up. I go, my wife takes me and we go have lunch, kind of dinner, whatever. You know, she brings me back to the school. I do that class. I mean, I'm really into it. I'm learning right off the top, you know. Uh, uh, the day ends, my wife picks me back up. We go back home. Monday morning, I get a phone call from my counselor, and he's talking to me like he's my father. You know, what are you doing signing up for that? You can't do nothing without my permission, and woo, 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 woo. And I'm not that guy. So I just basically told him, you know what, and I hung up the phone. And from that point, I literally sat there and faded into darkness. Okay. I mean, I went from having, you know, some vision to no vision in a matter of, well, this was '03, you know, so by '08, I was total, you know, so I'm still sitting there and, okay, I got to do something, you know, I really got to do something. And sat there for a little while longer. I mean, I had adapted, which we can do that as well, of course. I mean, I've been washing dishes all my life. I've been cooking all my life. I've been cleaning all my life. I just had to figure out a way to do it, being sightless, totally blind. So there was a lot of stuff I was doing there. So I basically became kind of like, the Mr. Mom, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I sat at the house while my wife worked. I took care of the house. I did all the cooking, cleaning, washing, all that kind of stuff, So that went on for a few years. And then I said, you know what? This is not good. My wife is working herself to death, my manhood and all that kind of stuff. I'm old school. So my manhood was really beating up on me, wanting me to step up and be a man and take care of my family, support my family, be that person. So anyway, I reached out to another person I know that actually was a rehab counselor, not in my area. And I was talking to them, okay, well, do I have to go back to that guy? And well, yeah, you got to go back. He's the only one in your area and whoa, whoa, whoa. So anyway, I called him back up and I said, okay, look, check this out. I need the services. I'm totally blind now. So I need to start from square one. And I mean, we were okay. We said, okay, no problem. He wanted to send me down to the training center where I actually ended up going, but it was a residential program. I really didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave my family like that. So I said, was there anything else I can do? Well, there was another program that was more local, but it was a day kind of program, where you go over there, a couple times a week or whatever the case may be. So I said, all right, well, let's do that one. That way I get to stay home and be here to help my wife and help her with the household and stuff like that. So anyway, the first thing they did was they got me a mobility instructor. And I'll never forget, as she said, you never forget your first elbow. That's an inside joke for blind folks, I guess. She was my first mobility instructor, taught me sighted guide. Inside a guide, we hold you guided by their elbow. So anyway, she starts working with me, and man, I am getting it. I'm doing it. I'm working it out. I'm getting this mobility stuff down, right? I'm excelling at her, as she said. You're moving faster than I have time to give it to you, Ed. I have a lot more clients to where I don't really have the time to give you, So I suggest you go to a residential program where you can get this stuff 5 days a week. I don't want to leave my family. I really don't, So anyway, we move on down the road where they get me scheduled for classes, So there's 4 main courses in this process. It's of course technology, learn how to use JAWS and screen readers and stuff like that. Then we have Braille, learning how to read Braille. Then you have independent living skills, making sure you know how to cook and clean and all that good stuff. And then also, your mobility skills, O&M, orientation and mobility. And I get my little schedule and I'm looking at it. Mind you, I'm like 53 at this point. I looked at that schedule and you know what? It's going to take me, I'll be 60 by the time I get done with this. That's not good. I need this a lot faster. I need it a lot faster. So I talked to my wife and we ended up going down to the training center I ended up going to down in LA. And I go there and we do a tour, okay, this is pretty nice big campus, dorm. I think we had like 32 students maximum that they could house. And, we stayed in, they call it a dorm, but we literally lived in suites. There were 4-bedroom suites. I had a bathroom and a living room, Of course, no kitchen or nothing like that. But so there'd be 4 guys in this suite and 4 girls in another suite, whatever. It was co-ed dorm. They had us separated, where the guys were on one side of the building, the females were on the other side of the building. And so anyway, but we left. I talked to my wife and, baby, I think it'd be better if I do this. I mean, I know I'll be able to come home on the weekends, all that kind of good stuff. So she says, you know what? Go ahead. Let's get this out the way and be done with it. So I went ahead and enrolled, and I actually started in March of 2011 is when I started my training center. Never had a cell phone in my life before. I mean, of course, I've seen them, used them. I mean, they were a big expense, when they first came out. So I never really wanted one, but I never needed one either. But now I needed one. So I'm being told that iPhone was the best one to get. So anyway, I get an iPhone, don't even know how to use it, right? Had to go get a Bluetooth so I could make a phone call, right? My family had to program my numbers in the phone, all this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm feeling really like, man, it's bad. I guess really, really bad off, So anyway, I start this program in March of 11, as I said, and I get up they dropped me off and my wife took me down and I moved in on a Sunday. Monday morning I get up and, I was introduced to a gentleman that they called him my buddy. So he's going to be the guy to show me around the campus, just basically like your orientation to the school, let you know how things work around there, show you what all the different buildings are, where you go eat, all that other kind of stuff. So moving on and I mean, it was great. I mean, one thing I realized when I got there was that number one, I didn't have it as bad as I thought I had it. I mean, as bad as I thought I was when I got there, you meet so many different people, and I found out that there were people that had a rougher time than I did. They were in a worse position than I was, So I quit feeling sorry for myself at that point. It's okay. I'm here to do this. Let me get this training. I'm supposed to be getting a computer. I'm supposed to be getting my Braille books. I'm supposed to be getting all of these different blind aids to help me while I'm in school, right? So anyway, made some really, really good friends down there. Matter of fact, a lot of the folks I met down there, I am still friends with to this day.
Yes, he is. And with that being said, Monica said good morning. She supports us every morning. Good morning, Monica. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Monica.
And Christina from Texas also said good morning. So good morning, Miss Christina. Thank you for supporting. She's been a big supporter as well. And it might be time to play your promotional thing, Ed.
Well, that and I'll give me a drink of water since I'm just long-winded. So here we go. We'll give you that info one more time.
You can visit our website, blindunited.org. That website again is blindunited.org. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or would like to be added to our email list, you can email us at info@blindunited.org. That email address again is info@blindunited.org. If you would like to reach us by phone, you can call us at 909-846-8825. That number again is 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Blind United 22. You can follow us on our Facebook group, which is Blind United Interest Groups, and you can also join our Facebook page, Blind United. Blind United. Blind United.
All right. So we're kind of at the part of the story where we're getting ready to plant this seed. Do I know what flower is going to come out of the seed? What tree is going to come out of this seed? No, I don't. I'm just using it as a metaphor. So, I mean, I'm there. I was at this training center for 7 months. Again, I met some really, really great people. They all had their goals in mind, what they wanted to do. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do at that point. I mean, I just wanted to get this education, get this training. I wanted my independence more than I wanted anything else I ever had in life. I mean, just dealing with, the loss of my sight and not being able to go and come when I get ready, jump in my car or jump on my motorcycle or whatever. I just wanted that back. Of course, I knew I couldn't drive or ride my motorcycle stuff again, but of course, at this point, all you really want to do, you just want to get as much of your life back as you can. So, in the evening times, we all used to sit around and hang out and talk and stuff like that. I mean, during the day, we're doing our courses. Of course, we're doing the computers. I'm learning basic keyboard skills. Talking, typing teacher. Oh my God. I mean, I think back on it, but again, it was a great tool. It really, really was. It taught me the keyboard. It gave me, step-by-step instructions on where to move my finger to reach whatever key. I mean, you're talking about somebody that literally failed typing 4 times in high school. So typing just wasn't my thing, but now I'm in a position where I literally need to get this skill. I need it. It's going to help me move forward with my life. So anyway, I get that, and I'm moving in with these skills. I'm going to my ILS, and I'm learning. You know what? Of course, I already knew how to cook. I already knew how to clean. They're just showing me different techniques and stuff like that. O&M. I mean, it's by the book, and man, it's uncomfortable the way they want you to hold your cane. I mean, it's, you really, really have to tap into your senses, and learn to use your hearing and all that kind of stuff. And you really have to, kind of, I don't know what we want to call it, your memory. When you're learning your routes, you have to remember landmarks and all this other kind of stuff. So the hardest one for me was Braille. Braille is a whole nother animal. It's learning another language. And but I was doing it. I mean, I literally had to find a finger that would work because, of course, I've worked with my hands all my life. I don't have neuropathy or anything like that. So it was just by me working with my hands all my life, my fingers just weren't as sensitive as they needed to be able to read those Braille dots. So, but anyway, I found a finger that would work. So anyway, in the evening times, we would either sit around and talk about, the system. And I mean, we had to be advocates and stuff like that to fight for the things we needed and so on and so forth. At the same time, I'm noticing when I first get there how people are, the guys and ladies that have been there, anyway, they're leaving. Some of them are leaving right after class, and they're going to the mall, they're going to restaurants, they're going wherever, they're leaving campus. And I'm sitting there by myself, and I'm, wait a minute. If I'm ever going to learn how to do this, I need to go with the people that are doing it. I need to learn from the people that are doing it. So I started going out with them and stuff. And I mean, that was really, really a smart thing to do. I mean, because you learn by the book mobility skills from your instructor, but you learn your practical use just by being out there doing it, So that was really, really great. So anyway, again, like I said, we were talking about being advocates for yourself, and we're sitting there talking about the cost of what it takes for us to be there. I mean, at that time, back in 2011, it was $10,000 a month for me to be in that training center. And I really wasn't feeling that I was getting it. I was learning more from my fellow students than I literally was from, the instructors. Don't, I mean, I'm not selling my instructors short. Trust and believe. I'm so grateful for the instructors that taught me my computer skills and stuff like that. It's just, maybe I was not saying it wrong. I was probably being more motivated by my fellow students, right? So, anyway, especially this one gentleman, he literally tricked me into traveling from Union Station to our training center on the bus by myself. Okay, so the way that worked was he came and I was sitting there waiting. They used to pick us up in a van. So he comes walking in, I hear him, he comes tap, tap, tap. He's big head, where you at? Okay, I'm over here, dude. So anyway, he makes his way over me, tap, tap, tap. He's all right, well, I'm getting ready to go get on the bus, man. You gonna roll with me or you wanna sit and wait on the van? And I said, you know what? I'm going with you. So he takes off and man, I could follow that tap around the world. So I follow him and we go all the way out the back of Union Station. And I'm amazed that he's just navigating this great big building and these hallways, and he finds his way to this staircase. And, we go upstairs and we come out on top where the smaller express buses are. And man, right to the bus stop. You know what I'm saying? And we get on the bus and we make that trip. And I'm amazed because when we're walking in the back gate of the school, the van is just leaving to go to Union Station to pick the other people up. Meaning I would have still been sitting there, right? Now I got time to unpack. I got time to relax. I got time to get me a cup of coffee. Oh man, this is great. So anyway, the next week, he calls me up. He goes, well, Ed, I got caught up. My wife is bringing me in, but, one of our other students that comes in from down south with him, well, she's going to meet you and, you can roll with her. Okay, cool. So I go with her, so I get one more lesson on that route following her, right? So the next week he calls me up. Oh, man, I'm sorry. My wife is going to drop me off over here on Slauson and Figueroa, but I'll meet you over there. So I jump on the bus, the first bus, and that's where, I trade buses at on Slauson and Figueroa. So I'm riding down Broadway. I'm sorry, Slauson and Broadway. I was riding down Broadway, and he called me. He said, well, Ed, the bus came, man. So I went ahead and jumped on it, but I'll be waiting for you when you step off the bus. Okay. I had to navigate cross corner in that intersection, right? At them signals. Trust and believe, my mobility skills weren't all that at that point, but I did it. I got it done. I got on that bus and I made my way to the school. When I stepped off that bus down by the school, he was standing right there waiting on me. He said, Ed, you did it, my brother. You did it. I said, man, I think you set me up. And he just started laughing. He said, come on, man, let's go. So we took off and then he announced to the rest of the class that day that within the first month of me being in training center, I had navigated my way from Union Station back to the training center by myself. So he put that pride in me. He put that confidence in me, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, moving forward, just paying attention to all the struggle that we had to go through to get the resources we need and all this other kind of stuff, just that seed is in me. There's something in me and I can't figure out what it is. This is not right. We shouldn't have to go through all of this. It shouldn't be this hard, so I'm there 7 months. I graduate. I still don't have my computer. I didn't get my Braille books until maybe 3 months into the program, and then I got them one at a time. And there was a 3-book system, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. Just different little stuff. So now I graduate, and again, like I said, I don't have my computer. So 6 months later, I get my computer. I literally forgot everything I had learned at the training center. So anyway, thanks to some other folks that, again, some of the instructors down there, whatever, I was able to call them. They helped me catch back up, helped me refresh myself. I learned, organizing techniques within my computer to where I created a folder with all my different, JAWS commands. And at the time, I called them processes because it was, you had to do this command to do this and then that command to do that to get ultimately, you might do 3 or 4 different steps just to accomplish one task. So anyway, I learned to do all that, and thank to that gentleman. He would spend his time unselfishly, work with me and work with me and work with me. We got it done. So, but again, I'm just, man, this is not right, and then I'm working with my counselor again, and man, he's telling me these stories. He's telling me all just he's telling me whatever he wants to tell me over the phone, but it's not coming to reality, So it got to a point with him where I literally had to reach out to my other friend that was a counselor. And I said, well, look, what can I do about this? She said, well, number one, you may want to think about, putting in a request for a new counselor, but at the same time, you need to CC his supervisor. So anyway, she got me his supervisor's name and all that. So I did all that. The next thing I know, I'm sitting in the office with him and his supervisor. And, he got some act right now. I learned a very important lesson about self-advocacy at that point, It works. It really works. That squeaky wheel does get the oil. So now we're on the same page. I'm put in the stipulation that there's no more phone conversations. Any correspondence that me and him have between each other is done via email. That way there's no issues. And things started working better. We finally got to a point where I could, close my case. Okay. So time is moving on now. Okay. I want to help others. I want to help others navigate through that process. So through my church that I had joined, I literally went and was down there, and they were starting a ministry, for disabled folks. They literally call it the special needs ministry. They asked me to be part of the ministry because the ministry was actually broken down by disability. And so they literally asked me to head up the piece, the element of it, the component that dealt with those of us within the blind community. So I went ahead and did that, and I was doing that, and then I noticed that I was the only blind person there. And once I got there.
Oh, Ed, sorry to interrupt you, but Paul said that Bell is another way of learning. I don't know if he meant Braille or like Bell, but that is in the comments.
Right. Well, I'm not sure either. So, but anyway, so we move forward, and I'm there every day. I'm trying to do my part for the ministry and all this other kind of stuff. And I don't know, I just didn't feel fulfilled. I mean, I was being fulfilled, by serving and stuff like that within my church. It's just, I just didn't feel I was doing anything for my community because, speaking of the blind community, blind vision impaired community, simply because, I know in my heart that folks that once they get their mobility and skills and stuff back, everybody has their own home church. So if you get your independence back and stuff, you're going to go to your home church, right? So it wasn't happening. The as I call the intervision ministry is what I call it, was not growing. It was just me. There was no other blind people in the ministry or whatever. So I kind of stepped outside and I was talking to one of the pastors there, and he told me about this center in Claremont. And he told me, well, I went down there, and man, he said the whole center is being, basically run by disabled people. And I said, man, you know what? That sounds like a great place to start. So I went down there and I met what I now call my sister. She's actually one of the co-founders of Blind United, as well as my co-host today, Brittany. So, but I met her back in like 13. So, man, I get down there and I'm amazed because she's blind. We had a few other blind folks up in there. Of course, we had some other people in there, disabled people that were doing their thing as well. And literally, we're volunteering and we're answering the phones. We're doing intake. We're teaching, other people. We got different classes going on. So I get in where I fit in, and we're making this happen. But in the meantime, we're, talking about, that's also when I joined the NFB. She got me involved with the NFB. She was actually the chapter member. We held our meetings down there. And so I'm learning more about the NFB. I had heard about, the NFB, ACB, stuff like that previously, but I went in and joined the NFB because I stand on, the part of their platform, the advocacy and independence. That really rung true with me. So that's why I did that. But so we moving forward, and then I don't know, we're doing different things around there and stuff. And then in 14, I actually went to my first national convention down in Florida. That was an amazing experience, being in a location with 2,000 other blind folks and just seeing people living their best life, and I just wanted more of that. So I came back home, and then my wife had gotten sick. Actually, she got sick while we were down in Florida. But anyway, my wife got sick, and I'm still volunteering, but I'm trying to help my wife out as well. And then I eventually lost my wife in 2015. So I got a lot of great support from the community. The people that I had surrounded myself with, and they helped me get through all of that. And then again, we're moving forward, trying to find a way to do something. So I still had this emptiness in me. We could do more. We could do better. There's got to be a better way. I'm looking at the big picture now, and I'm seeing, okay, we got these two major organizations. I've learned what Washington Seminar is all about, but at the same time, I'm learning that, both organizations actually go to Washington. Both organizations actually lobby Congress for what they feel, the blind community needs, at least the ones they represent, So, but for me, I'm just that guy, if you need an audible signal and I don't, I'm not going to stand in your way. I'm going to help you get that audible signal because why? It's going to help you. Just like I would hope that, you would help me if there was something that I needed that you don't necessarily need. We're all blind. We're all in the same situation. None of us are on the same level. We're all, have different needs and things that we don't need. But
exactly, Ed, exactly. I
I think that's also kind of my little hint right there to do this our little social media input thing right quick. Let me get a drink and I'll be back on the other end of this.
You can visit our website, blindunited.org. That website again is blindunited.org. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or would like to be added to our email list, You can email us at info@blindunited.org. That email address again is info@blindunited.org. If you would like to reach us by phone, you can call us at 909-846-8825. That number again is 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Blind United 22. You can follow us on our Facebook group, which is Blind United Interest Groups, and you can also join our Facebook page, Blind United. Blind United. Blind United.
All right. So let me just reiterate. I have nothing against either one of these major organizations. I am NFB, as I stated. There's plenty of people that are involved with Blind United and come in and do things with us within our interest groups and stuff like that are, ACB. We have people from across the country. So, but what I realized by looking at the big picture is, when you look at other disabled communities, whether it be the deaf community, folks in wheelchairs, stuff like that, they all speak with one voice and they all get what they need. I mean, you think about the deaf, they get closed caption, they got the TTY phone systems, all of this other kind of stuff. I mean, you look at the folks in the wheelchairs, I mean, they're getting these handicap ramps, are getting these extra wide doors, they're getting a little button that they can hit, to open the door, the bathroom stalls, you name it, they get it. Why? Because they're all speaking with one voice. Well, our community, for better or worse, we're speaking with two different voices, so that really, really bothered me. It really did. So moving forward, I think it was in 16, I think it was 16 when we did a thing. Every year in October is, Disability Awareness Month. We do a thing in there. It's called White Cocaine Safety Day on October 15th. And, part of our thing with the NFB is, you do something to create awareness, and a lot of folks, they just go out and they may meet somewhere and, they'll walk and with their canes in a group and stuff like that and so on and so forth. You know what? I think we can do more. So me and Cheryl, we sat and we were talking and we came up with this concept of walk a mile in my shoes. And basically what that is just we created an event where we bring people out, city council from there, Claremont, stuff like that, family members of, other blind individuals. And we basically blindfolded them and we let them try to see if they could do what we do for, see if you can go pour a cup of water with, without making a mess, being blindfolded, showing them the technology that we use in our everyday life, our iPhones and, and the JAWS and all this other kind of stuff. And then ultimately, I would give them a white cane. I would give them a quick mobility lesson. I would assign a sighted guide to them, but the sighted guide was actually instructed not to per se, let them hold on to the sighted guide, but more just to be there as a safety net. Don't let them walk into any, as we call it, street furniture, fire hydrants, mailboxes, paper racks, whatever, and I go take them for a walk, and I mean, they really learned a lot. They really, really got a lot out of that, so anyway, that's actually when I met Brittany. Brittany came in the picture when we were doing that. Brittany seen us talking on social media and stuff about it, and she wanted to get involved. So she came down and she joined our little crew. And she's been my baby sister ever since. Thank you so much, Britt, for coming into my life when you did. So moving forward, we're doing what we do. We're doing this walk a mile thing every year and so on and so forth. And we just, while we're down there in the daytime, we're just trying to figure out what we could do. And then at one point, we decided that we wanted to start our own nonprofit. We didn't know what we was going to call it. We didn't, we just knew that we wanted to try to do something better. So the whole concept behind Blind United is this. We're taking all of the good stuff that we learned, the positive things that we learned going through the system. Me, losing my sight at a late point in life. Cheryl, the same situation. Brittany has, been visually impaired all of her life, and so on and so forth. So we're looking at it from those angles, and, like I said, the struggles and, fighting with the different services and stuff, trying to get the resources and everything we want. So we're taking all of the positive stuff, the things that are necessary, and we're applying all of the positive stuff within Blind United. And then we're doing everything we can with the negative stuff, but may also be necessary, such as, fighting with our rehab counselors, having to do all this serious self-advocacy and all that stuff just to get the resources we need and all that stuff. So we're finding other ways, to try to make that happen. We're teaching people right off the top how to advocate for themselves and so on and so forth. Plus, there's a lot of folks in the community that don't necessarily qualify to get services through rehab or whatever, but we all deserve to live, our best life. We all deserve to get this training, So, bottom line, we decided we was going to do this, and then we were sitting around and we're trying to figure out whatever. And one day I was thinking about a piece of art that somebody had wanted, and they, so I'm coming up with this concept, and then all of a sudden it clicked in my head. Blind United. Oh, wow. That's it. That's it right there. So I brought it back to Cheryl. I brought it back to Biggie.
Wrap it up sign, Ed. Wrap it up sign.
And that's what we did. We created Blind United. And so our motto now is, our little catch line is building bridges, closing gaps, and making connections. So, the gaps between, your ophthalmologist and rehab and all these other kind of things, we're building bridges to get over those. And then we're reaching out within the blind community with our interest groups, and we're making those connections. So, that's a piece of it. That's kind of where Blind United, came from. That was our purpose for getting it, going. And so, that's kind of it. Now we're doing what we're doing. We've been doing this now for 2 years. We have 23 different interest groups. We offer JAWS training. We offer advanced technology training, with your iPhone, your iPads. We got groups that teaching people how to use AI. We got groups that's teaching people how to use Braille. We got groups that's, help design to help keep you fit. We do a fitness group. We do, you name it. We got a group that teaches how to speak Spanish. Again, we got 23 different groups that we do throughout the course of the month. Some of those groups are once a month. Some of those groups are bi-weekly, and then other groups are every week. So, again, just come check us out, Blind United. We're now on YouTube. Of course, we're over on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Blind United. Our group in Facebook is Blind United Interest Groups. We're on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. We're also over on X, formerly known as Twitter, as Blind United 22. Again, our website is www.blindunited.org. If you have any questions, want to get on our email list, or just want more information about Blind United, you can always email us at info@blindunited.org, and we'll be more than happy to, connect with you and let you know what we got going on. And, you know, if you're in need of services or know somebody that needs services, man, just reach out. We'd love to, you know, bring them into the fold. And, you know, I mean, we're all family. We're all blind. We all have the same struggles. We all have the same concerns. We all have the same desires. We're just like, you know, the rest of the folks in the sighted community. We want to live our best life just like they do. We have the same hopes and dreams as everybody else. And we just have to struggle a little bit harder to get there. We have to fight a little bit harder to get there. But together, we are going to get there. So that is my little thing on Blind United. I hope everybody enjoyed that. So I don't know. How'd I do, Brett?
You did great, Ed. Just remember, everybody, info@blindunited.org. That email address is info@blindunited.org. Or you can call us at 909-846-8825. Or you can follow us on Insta at Blind United Interest Groups and hang out, visit our website. That's blindunited.org. We'd love to meet with you. We don't care if you're NFB, ACB. We don't care what color you are. We just want to help. You know, we're all family. We all love each other. We all love you. And we're just here to be that positive light in the community.
And as Brittany said, I echo everything she said. I just thank everybody that comes in and supports, and everybody that follows us every day and listens to the music we got going on, or not music. I wonder where the music is. I hit it, but it ain't making no noise. So technical difficulty. Well, there it is. Maybe it's just real low. But again, I just thank everybody for coming in and hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the little story I told about how Blind United came about. And again, I appreciate Paul, Monica, Elizabeth, everybody that popped in the comments section.
Christina, and, Carol, like everybody, man.
Oh, Christina, Carol, everybody. All right. I really do appreciate y'all folks. And I'm going to call this one to an end, and I will see you on the next one. If you ain't doing nothing tonight at 6 p.m., come join me on, Talk Time.
PlayStation
live,
time.
6 p.m. PlayStation time. Have a great day, Britt. I love you, sweetie. I'll talk to you soon.